Good evening and welcome to Wine Time Crime Time. I am your disaster of a host. Um, Content warning, um, alcohol. I am drunk. I am currently drinking grapefruit soda from HEB. It's like $4 and some change for liter bottles. You can also find it at Central Market, I think. And mixed with Bombay gin, and that's like $20 a bottle pretty much anywhere. Excuse me. Also, content warning: blood, rape, the usual, murder, and suicide. There's suicide in this one. This is the Halloween murders of the Liske family. That's what I'm covering today. So, these murders occurred in Sandusky, Ohio on October 31st of 2010. Let's do a little background. Our murderer, criminal for today is William Liske, also known as BJ. He had some problems starting in, I believe it was 2002, is the first time he was put on house arrest. He was trying to hurt himself. William Liske Sr., also known as Bill. Just remember, these people are from Ohio. Not the most creative in the nickname departments. And they're white. They're not Mexican. Otherwise, you'd have names like Gordo and Chewy.
Still not creative. We have the same set of nicknames for everyone.
That's true. Anyway, so back to the Liske family. So I really need to stop holding pens when I talk to you guys because I'm just throwing them everywhere. It is dangerous to sit next to me when I'm holding a pen.
Oh my god. Sorry, it nails.
I'm doing a show, you jerk.
I love you.
Where was I?
Bad naming conventions.
Lists.
House arrest. So, Bill called the cops because he didn't know what to do, and when the police arrived, BJ attacked them. So he got arrested and then was put on house arrest. So that was the first incident. After that, there was a couple times that he attacked his stepmother, Susan Liske. One time actually causing injury and stealing her keys. I think this was 2004, in which he got arrested for assault and robbery, but then was declared that he couldn't, he wasn't mentally competent to stand trial, and the charges were dismissed. So then he got sent to a halfway house that also offered help with his mental illness. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar, but there was thoughts that there might be other things also. And there's no history of abuse or anything occurring as far as parents go, so it's unclear why he was so violent towards his stepmother. It's not clear why. He was also kind of a jerk to his stepbrothers, Derek and Devin. So he was not living with the family at the time of the murders. He was still living at the halfway house. However, that week, his father, BJ, had taken him hunting. It's kind of like BJ really tried to Bill really tried to keep BJ feeling and being part of the family. So they came home the night of October 30th, and Bill told BJ that he would take him back to the halfway house the next day because he'd been drinking and didn't want to drive him after he'd been drinking. They'd been hanging out. So then we have Devin. So at this time, Derek is 18 years of age and has a younger stepbrother, Devin, who is 16. Devin had spent the weekend with his father and had come home in the morning of October 31st, about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Came in, got dressed, and went to a church Halloween party that happened that morning. At which point he had bumped into BJ. He was only there for a few minutes. He bumped into BJ, didn't see anyone else, didn't bump into anyone else in the house, kind of figured everyone was still asleep. And BJ asked him how he was doing and when he would be back and where was he going, which it struck Devin as odd, because BJ was kind of a dick and really didn't ever concern himself with anything that Devin did. So he thought it was kind of weird, but he was running late and wanted to get to church. So then Devin comes home from church, and the house is still quiet. So he went up to his room to play video games. And around 1:30 in the afternoon, he's like, it's been really quiet in the house. Like, too quiet. So he goes into his parents' room, where he discovers his mother and father have been shot to death. So he runs out of the house and calls his aunt, panic-stricken, obviously. His aunt, who lives close by, came over right away and called the authorities. When police arrive, they find Derek, who's 24, bludgeoned to death in his bed. Yeah. And BJ's nowhere to be found. So the police pieced together what happened that morning, because it happened in the early hours of the morning. They believe that Derek was killed first. While he was asleep, he was found in bed, curled up, facing the wall, and BJ had beat him to death with a claw hammer, which they found in the house, covered in Derek's blood. Then they think once he was done there, he went into his parents' bedroom and shot Bill 5 times, as they found Bill's body had not been disturbed from a sleeping position. And then they found, of course, Susan was next to Bill, but shown signs that her body had been moved. So they suspect that she was woken up by the gunshots to Bill. And then they're unsure to this day if BJ raped Susan before or after she was shot. So, and she then bled out in bed. It didn't take long for them to find sorry. I swear every single time it's like the worst possible moment. Let me tell you about all these terrible, terrible ways these people died. Burp.
You didn't burp in the story time at all?
No, I didn't. I did not burp at story time.
But you are drinking a bubbly drink, though.
I am drinking a bubbly drink.
And you have what, 2 cups? Yeah, it's burpy time.
I've had 2 glasses. And I kind of made them really strong. Also, I have this wonderful Star Trek glass with my homie Spock. Because Spock is my mom and Kirk is my dad. True story. I like how I say something incredibly stupid and nobody interrupts at that point. Nobody. Silence from the peanut gallery.
Used to that. We've heard that statement plenty of times.
Constantly.
So they didn't take them long to find BJ. One of these days, the moon. He had taken Bill's truck and driven back out to the cabin, which is where police found him.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, Jesus, that hurt. Okay. And they arrested him. Kind of cut and dry. Sentencing. He pleaded not guilty because he wanted to avoid the death penalty. And here's where it gets weird. So, I mean, the trial was pretty quick. He pleaded no contest. Yeah, he did it. Guilty, blah, blah, blah. But in 2015, they found him dead in his jail cell from self-inflicted wounds. They're unsure if he had a psychotic break or what. He tried his best to avoid the death penalty, or maybe just prison was harder than he thought it was going to be. It's unclear exactly why he offed himself. I keep shaking the camera. I am so sorry. I'm really, really drunk.
Maybe he finally realized what he did.
Maybe he was just able to get... I know this is going to sound really, really stupid. Like, I know in my head it sounds stupid, and as soon as it comes out of my mouth, I'm going to regret it. But I'm going to say it anyway. Maybe he was getting better mental health care in prison than he had access to out of prison.
I mean, he might not have had access to any outside of prison.
No, he'd been institutionalized.
Yeah.
That was stated earlier.
Yeah, he was living in the halfway house.
They basically kill him, regardless.
I don't know, man.
The only ones I've ever seen be like not trashed have been the one for moms.
That's
Ones
true.
are mostly run by moms that actually want their people to get back to their kids.
Yeah, I feel bad for Devin.
Mm.
He was 16.
Just a child.
And the sad part is people were constantly telling Bill that they feared for him and his family's safety when BJ was around. Friends and family. And the neighbors are pretty sure that the constant mysterious deaths of their pets were due to BJ, though no one ever caught him in the act. So he did have a history of violence and disturbing behavior. I don't know. Like, my thing is yes, family is important, and you should you should help them get help. But there's a limit. There's a line. If they're a danger to you, if they're a danger to the rest of your family, sometimes you have to distance yourself. And that's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. I know some people feel that way. I disagree. Because if somebody wants to drop my crazy ass and is like, hey, you're bad for my mental health, I'm like, damn, got it. And then I try to fix myself. But that's me. That's me.
I'm so bad at that.
You were just talking about how you made a healthy decision
I did
by cutting someone out of your life earlier. The child is learning. Slowly but surely.
I had to get emotionally abused first.
I taught it better. It's just stubborn
You
as
have
fuck.
to-
Any of you out there who have a Taurus in their life know what I'm talking about.
And then you went and dated one.
Yeah, he's stubborn too. I love him to death, but God.
We just kind of suck.
Just let me help you, motherfuckers.
No.
Just let me help you.
No.
Jesus.
That's why all my friends are Aries.
I'm not a Taurus.
Yeah, but you let me help you.
I just have it rising and in my moon.
I'm a Gemini 100%. Like 100%. My sun, my moon, everything. Gemini.
I'm a Taurus, Sun, Scorpio, Moon, Cancer rising.
That's why you're a butthole.
No!
Anyone who watches my mom's crap, thoughts on my...
They can't hear you because you don't talk loud enough and you're sitting way the fuck
I'm
over there.
literally yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Diane is sitting farther.
Yes, but Diane projects.
I was about to say the exact same sentence. Diane projects.
Diane
Look,
is a human megaphone.
I mean,
Concerningly loud.
I have been professionally loud. You know, like,
I'm
made a living being loud.
I'm standardly pretty quiet. Anytime I'm not in the house.
why does my show always degenerate to this?
Because you're talking in your living room with an asshole teenager and Diane.
See, it just
What does that
it just confessed that it is a butthole.
I've never said I wasn't.
Oh, by the way, I got new ink. Hold on.
An asshole teenager and Diane.
See, I got a new tattoo. Isn't it lovely? All right. Remember, my darklings, if you're gonna commit murder, at least try not to get caught. And y'all have a good evening.